Well, it's a do-or-die game for the club of Manchester United. That is tomorrow at the Rams Park in Turkey that capacitates 52,600 people down there. Champions League, match day 5. Manchester United needs to do everything they can into their capacity to obviously register a win if at all they are to keep their Champions League qualification chances alive to the round of 16. Welcome to the United Matters channel. Eric Ten Hag is going to hate to name the traveling squad of Man United to Turkey, and that game is obviously going to be played at 20-30 hours. That's when that game of football is going to be played down in the side of Turkey. Smash the like button, comment and share. Let's see close to 100 likes. Smash on this video and don't forget to subscribe. How do you subscribe? Lower right bottom corner, that's the place to be, and smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, the notification bell that will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. Manchester United comes into this game after beating Everton 3-0, courtesy of Alejandro Garnacho, world-class overhead kick, Rashford scoring a penalty, who is out of this game, and Anton Martial scoring the third goal. When we go to the side of Galatasaray, they played Alinyaspa on Saturday and they went ahead to beat that team by 4-0, with Mauro Icardi scoring the 37th minute, Dries Martins scoring a brace in the 45th and 59th minutes, and Wilfred Zaha putting the cherry on the cake in the 70th minute and making it 4-0. That is the side of Galatasaray. So it's obviously going to be a highly charged side, with some players doubtful for the side of Galatasaray and others doubtful for the club of Manchester United. So when you look at Galatasaray, they are not having Davison Sanchez. That is it, because he suffered a hamstring injury when he was playing against Manchester United in the second half. Then Abdulkarim Badaki, one of the players that plays into the double pivot alongside Torreira, is also injured a little bit because he never even played during the weekend, but you never know, he might be fighting to obviously get back to full fitness. And Victor Nelson might obviously come in through and obviously step in for him on Ndombele and do the needful. But all in all, Dre Martins and Karim Atakoglu are really somehow those players that you will anticipate that they can obviously come in through and obviously do the needful. Then when you look at the side of Manchester United, they are not having Casemiro, Lisandro Martinez, Amad Diallo, Mason Mount, John Evans, Christian Eriksen, Tyrell Malacia. All those players are really out, plus Marcus Rashford, who is really suspended. So that is the list, or the injury list, of the club of Manchester United. But all in all, we have some good news that Rasmus Højlund has gone ahead to train. And let me obviously read to you the traveling squad of Man United as named by Eric Ten Hag this afternoon. We are having goalkeepers Ateli Bendeir, Tom Heaton, Andre Onana. Defenders include Diego Dallo, Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, Sergio Reguilon, Luke Shaw, Rafael Varane, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Then the midfielders include Sofian Amrabat, Bruno Fernandes, Dan Gore, Hannibal, Kobe Mainoo, and Scott McTominay. Those are the midfielders. Then the forwards include Anthony, Alejandro Garnacho, Rasmus Højlund, Joe Higel, Anton Martial, and Facundo Pellistri. That is the traveling squad of Man United, and you can now sit down and really analyze who is going to be into the starting 11 of. Remember, United need what we call a win. We are lying bottom of the table because we are having 3 points. Copenhagen is having 4. Galatasaray is having 4. Bayern Munich is having 12 points. They've already gone ahead to qualify for the round of 16. And when you look at how things are really panning out, all United needs to do is simple: beat Galatasaray, get to 6 points, and beat the side of Bayern Munich, or really get 1 point of Bayern Munich, and the rest will be history. We'll be obviously getting to where we deserve to be. One will say, what if What if Copenhagen goes ahead to obviously win one more game and we are left at 7 points with them? The mathematics is simple. In the Champions League, they consider the head-to-head. When they came to Old Trafford, we beat them by 1-0, and we went to their stadium. We beat them. They beat us by 4-3. So all we need to do is simple: win the game against Galatasaray. That will put us into an equation. After knowing the result that's obviously going to occur at the Allianz Arena, and if at all we beat Galatasaray, remember, we will obviously be in the aim to obviously see to it that we don't stay at the bottom of the table. Now, over the weekend, Erik ten Hag went ahead to name a very good strong starting 11, but I've gone ahead to obviously come up with mine, and I think this should be the starting 11 that Erik ten Hag should obviously flaunt in the Rams Park at Galatasaray to see it that we obviously get into where we deserve to be. With his system of 4-2-3-1, especially, he has been playing with that throughout this entire season. And even when he came in through, he rarely made those changes, but his starting 11 has been consistently the same. Let's start it off with who do we start in goal. Obviously, Atel Bendeir is one of the players that you would anticipate that Erik ten Hag will obviously think about because he knows the atmosphere here, but there is no way he leaves out his informed goalkeeper, Andre Onana. He stood up with him, and I also stood up with Andre Onana, and I'm really happy to let you know that Andre Onana has not gone ahead to obviously shame us. He has gone ahead to put in a shift, and for us who went ahead to put in a shift for him, we've gone ahead to really gate the results, and the payback has been very positive to an extent that no one has gone ahead not to believe that this guy has gone ahead to put in a shift that is really very, very important for the club of Manchester United. That is Andre Onana. And Bendeir, however good he is, I think he'll obviously be in between the stitches when Andre Onana is away for the African Cup of Nations. But you look at the game of Manchester City, you look at the game of Everton that we played over the weekend on Sunday and won, he really played a very, very pivotal role for us to obviously go ahead and obviously win that game. So I pity anyone who comes out and really thinks that Andre Onana won't come good, but he has gone ahead to shame everyone. Now, in the game of Everton, it was Diego Dallo that started as a right back. Aaron Wan-Bissaka came in through and played some 10-15 minutes, but I believe it's going to be Aaron Wan-Bissaka to start, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka is going to be playing alongside his former player at Crystal Palace, and you'll all understand what you need to be having in Aaron Wan-Bissaka to obviously face this guy, Wilfred Zaha. Wilfred Zaha is one of the deadliest players I've gone ahead to see, but the best 1v1 defender in the world is Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and he's obviously going to stop all the threats that would come in from this guy. And the way he tracks back, he's fast, and he's obviously going to close him down well. One will say, why not play Diego Dallo onto the right back? Yet he went ahead to put in a very beautiful assist for Alejandro Garnacho in the 3rd minute against Everton. This game needs to obviously be won on how many goals we are going to concede and how many are going to score. So if you want not to concede very many goals, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is one of the players to put on the field of play and do the needful. Then on the left side, I think it's going to be Diego Dallo, not Sergio Reguilon. That is it. I think it's supposed to be Diego Dallo to play onto the left back, because when he plays on the left back, you'll obviously get to know that the cohesion and chemistry in between this central defense is obviously going to be strong, because they are not playing alongside one another for the very first time. Now one will ask, what of your central defenders? However much Harry Maguire and Lindelof put in a very good shift, I go with Rafael Varane to play onto the right side of the central defense. Guys, this is the Champions League game where experience is paramount, and you need it. You need the experience with you every time. This is the Champions League, and I cannot trust Harry Maguire with a game of such a magnitude. And this is when I'm going to get to know that it's all over for Rafael Varane if at all he doesn't start tomorrow. That is it. If he doesn't start tomorrow, I'm going to get to know that it's all over. Now, on the left side, I don't want to see neither Harry Maguire or Lindelof in this game. It's supposed to be Luke Shaw. It's supposed to be Luke Shaw. This is the side that we need to flaunt as we take on that Galatasaray side, because the experience is going to be huge, and we are obviously going to be having players that are really good on 1v1 and they are really solid. That is it. So to me, I would have that as my back four. I don't know what your thoughts are about that, but that's my ideal back four as we take on the side of Galatasaray down in Turkey, because you are having Rafael Varane and Luke Shaw playing the central defense, who are really very, very, very ultra fast, meaning that they can really close down Icardi, they can close down on this other guy, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Wilfred Zaha and Yimaliz, and Dre Martins, that is what we really need at the club of Manchester United, and I don't really want to see us not fielding a team like that. So we go to the double pivot. However much I would love to see Amrabat start, I don't think Erik ten Hag will make that decision. Maybe if he starts, it's going to shock me. I think he's going to go with the double pivot of Scott McTominay and Kobbie Mainoo. That's the double pivot I believe Erik ten Hag is going to go in for. That is it. So Amrabat is needed in this game for his experience, but will Erik ten Hag drop Scott McTominay or Kobbie Mainoo? That is the huge question, because Kobbie Mainoo went ahead to put in a very huge performance here against Everton, and in this game, all we need are players that can obviously fight. Even Amrabat can obviously fight, but I don't think that he has gone ahead to get into the cohesion of the team of Man United. There is a huge miscommunication in between him and the players, and I think that's why he is on the bench. Not because that he's not a very good player. He's a very good player. Even when it comes on through, you see to it that he really puts his body on the line, he runs, he makes those tackles, but the problem has always been him and the game reading and the passes, of other United players. So I think Kobbie Mainoo is obviously going to get his first Champions League start for Manchester United alongside Scott McTominay, and then the incomings or the upcomings, the aftercomings after his start will obviously tell Erik ten Hag on what not to do and what to do. Then the central attacking midfield is going to be Bruno Fernandes, a man who really went ahead to obviously get himself an assist against Everton for the third goal against Anton Martial, and remember, he also released Anton Martial for the penalty that we get into the second half. So Bruno Fernandes is obviously improving on his composure, something I've gone ahead to be calling in for left, right and center, and is really embarking on it and giving it the best of practice and performance and orchestration on the field of play at Manchester United, and that is the captain Magnifico. Right attacking side of the midfield, I call upon for Facundo Pellistri to start, because I know of his energy and intensity that he can really put in. He'll track back very well, and when it means to obviously take that ball and hold it into the final third, like you saw how he did for the third goal we scored against Everton, he'll obviously do it, and I think he deserves to start. And the left side, no doubts, it's supposed to be Alejandro Garnacho, because of what he did and the confidence he's really having right now after that goal. He has shown us that he can obviously pull in a spectacular, and we should obviously give him a chance to see to it that whether he can do the same into the Champions League. Sometimes you just need a goal like that to see to it that you obviously build up your confidence to hurt your opponents. And this is another game. If Alejandro Garnacho can be on target or put in an assist, then he would have gone ahead to send a very huge message to Marcus Rashford that this position is no longer yours. I want to see Garnacho go on a stretch of like 3-4 games, either scoring or putting in an assist, so that's what I want him for. Now he's going to lead the line. Rasmus Højlund in the squad, but I wouldn't like to obviously rush him back. With Anton Martial scoring that goal and really having an assist for the penalty, I would obviously go in for him to lead the line. Then Rasmus Højlund comes in later, though Rasmus Højlund is the top scorer in the Champions League, and Erik ten Hag might not want to obviously not start him, but I think it will be ideal to start Anton Martial and study the game plan of Galatasaray, because Anton Martial can obviously hurt them a lot, because he can act as a focal point, receive that ball and obviously hold it very well. He plays well with his back to goal. Even when he faces at goal, he can obviously put in lots of shifts. Now, Anton is part of the squad, but I don't really see him really coming in through to start, because he's coming in from injury. And Rashford is out, would have gone ahead to start on the right side. And I think Facundo Pelestri can obviously start. But don't be shocked if I told you to it that Amrabat and Kobe Mainoo are played into the double pivot. And Bruno Fernandes is being played as a right attacking midfielder. That can also happen. All Amrabat, Scott McTominay, the double pivot, Kobe Mainoo being played into the central attack midfield position, and Bruno Fernandes being played as a right winger. That can also happen on the game of football that is at the Ram Stadium, where United is obviously going to be playing that team. Now, let's obviously try it and obviously talk about these head-to-head stats. Galatasaray failed to win any of their first 5 European games against Man United, 3 draws, 2 losses, but have won each of their last 2 against the Reds, both in the UEFA Champions League, 1-0 in November 2022 and 3-2 in October. So we need to up our stockings and obviously go there and obviously get that win. Secondly, Manchester United have never scored any away goal against Galatasaray in 3 previous attempts, 2 draws and 1-0 defeat. It's the most away European games they've played against an opponent without scoring. So we need to break that curse. If the spell is there, all we need to do is obviously break it and see to it that we really score goals against this side, because we haven't scored any goal against them. And they went ahead to put up a very good fight against Bayern Munich. That shows us that we should up our stockings when you're obviously going to face them. After beating Man United at Old Trafford earlier this season, Galatasaray could win home and away against an opponent in the European Cup / UEFA Champions League for just the second time. They last did it in 1967-1970 season against Irish side Waterford United, 2-0 at home and 3-2 away. That is it. So let's wait and see whether we obviously go in and overcome such a team. Then the other head-to-heads are, this will be the 8th time Galatasaray have hosted English opposition in the UEFA Champions League, while they've only lost 2 of the previous 7, So it shows you that they are having a very good record against the English sides. And lastly, Man United have lost 3 of their 4 group stage matches in the UEFA Champions League under Erik ten Hag, with 1 win. In his previous job at Ajax, it took ten Hag until his 13th group stage game in the competition to suffer his 3rd defeat, 6 wins and 4 draws. So Erik ten Hag is not naive about this competition. He knows exactly what this competition is all about. That's why I give him an edge. And I'm going for a 2-1 win for the club of Manchester United. That is it. I think we are improving in our transitions, and the 3 goals we scored at Everton are obviously going to boost us. We are going to park the bus, hit them on the brake, all surprise them and play high line, and then try to obviously suffocate them into their half, because all we need is a win. We don't need a draw, we need a win to see to it that we get this game over the line. That's my prediction. So guys, I call upon for your predictions in the comment section below. Tell me what your thoughts are about this fixture of Man United versus Galatasaray. And that has been what I had for you today. Rokan David remains my name. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And may the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims Barakallahu Fikum. I'm out. Bye bye.